You guys, welcome to Sick of Pricks, a type 2 diabetes podcast. I'm Mary, your diabetes bestie, and today we're talking about how everybody is suddenly a diabetes expert. You know what's funny? The second people find out you have diabetes, they immediately become deeply invested in your medical journey. Suddenly, your coworker has opinions. Your uncle read an article once. Your friend's cousin's neighbor reversed it naturally. And some random guy on Facebook with a fish profile picture is now apparently your endocrinologist. It's incredible, honestly. And look, I get that some people mean well. They really do. But there is something absolutely freaking exhausting about living with a condition that everybody feels entitled to comment on. Your food, your medication, your weight, your body, your blood sugar, your choices. It's like suddenly diabetes turns your life into an old school Yahoo message board. And after a while, it gets really old, you guys. So today we're talking about unsolicited advice, internet experts, weird comments, food policing, miracle cure nonsense, and learning how to stop feeling like you owe everyone an explanation for how you manage your own body. Because, you guys, a lot of us are tired, including me. I think one of the strangest parts of living with diabetes is realizing how comfortable people are commenting on your health. And I think that also goes for people who are on a weight loss journey, right? People comment when you're too big. They comment when you're losing weight. They comment when you're at your goal. Everyone thinks it's okay to comment on your diabetes or your body. Imagine walking up to someone who has chronic migraines and saying, well, have you tried drinking more water? Or telling someone with asthma, well, my aunt stopped using inhalers and instead she just ate blueberries. When my dad was diagnosed with cancer, he was in the hospital and he was craving a grilled cheese sandwich. You know, a man wants what he wants. A relative heard that we were getting him his grilled cheese sandwich. He was dying. He wants a grilled cheese sandwich. He can have it. And the relative said, well, he should really be eating broccoli and garlic. And I remember thinking to myself, what the actual, you know what, I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but you know exactly what I was thinking. It sounds ridiculous, you guys, but for some reason, people feel entitled to just say things constantly, all the time. And the comments come from everywhere. Family members watching you on the holidays, coworkers commenting on your lunch, strangers online arguing about medications, what you should be on or shouldn't. People who have never checked their blood sugar in their lives suddenly explaining how diabetes really works. And listen, if cinnamon actually cured diabetes, endocrinologists would be out of business. I need us to be for real, okay? I swear, it's like people watch one TikTok and immediately start acting like certified diabetes educators. If you lose weight, you get what's your secret? Are you still taking that shot? You look so much better now. When I was teaching at the YMCA, I was teaching group exercise. At the time, I was teaching Zumba mostly. And one of the other ladies that worked there, I went up to the desk to sign in or sign out or something. And she said to a member who was there, she's lost so much weight. She looks so good now. And I thought to myself, wow, like, thanks, kind of, but not really. Like, what are you saying about what I looked like before? And it was just such a weird backhanded compliment, right? So when you lose weight, you get the comments. And then when you gain weight, it's, are you taking care of yourself? Are you eating too many carbs? Maybe you should eat less carbs. You know that diabetes is serious, right? It's like people think having diabetes gives them a backstage pass to your health. And it does not. One of the hardest things I had to learn was that I don't owe everyone access to my health journey. I don't owe strangers my lab work. I don't owe explanations about my medicine. I don't owe anyone a defense of what's on my plate or a defense of my treatment plan. And guys, neither do you. There's this weird thing that happens where people start assigning morality to your food right in front of you. You know what I'm talking about. You're at a restaurant, you order fries, and suddenly everyone's looking at you like, can you eat that? First of all, I was literally in the middle of a bite when you decided to interrogate me about my French fries. So thanks for that. And second, why are we doing this? I am a grown woman. Stop asking me what I can and cannot do, because the answer is I can do whatever I want. And so can you. All the listeners out there, guess what? You are grown. You can do whatever you want. You want French fries? Eat the French fries. Period. Make a decision. It's a choice, right? People with diabetes are always thinking about food constantly. We're already doing that. We do not need the additional commentary from the sidelines. Most people with diabetes are already doing mental math all day long. We're checking numbers, thinking ahead, planning medications, managing symptoms, balancing real life with our blood sugars, and possibly battling, some crazy side effects from medications. So when somebody questions us about food choices, even casually, it can feel like somebody's shining a spotlight right on you. And what's frustrating is that people don't realize how often it happens, okay? Family dinners, birthday parties, all the should you be eating that comes from everywhere. The coworker staring at your lunch, all of that adds up. After a while, you start feeling self-conscious doing completely normal human things like eating in public. And you guys, that's not healthy. That's shame. That's not support. It's judgment. And honestly, sometimes the comments aren't directly mean. Sometimes it's the tone of voice. Do you know what I mean? Oh, wow, you're being good today. You're allowed to have that? I could never give up carbs. Should you really be eating dessert? Do you really need a second helping? It's that judgy tone, and suddenly you're sitting there feeling like your entire worth as a human being is tied to whatever's on your plate. That messes with people, you guys, especially because diabetes already comes with enough internal pressure. A lot of people living with this condition are already harder on themselves than anybody else ever could be. We replay the numbers in our head. We beat ourselves up over choices. We compare ourselves to other people online. We wonder if we're doing enough. We stress over appointments before they even happen. So when outside opinions pile up on top of all that, it gets really heavy really fast. And I want to talk about this pressure to perform wellness, because sometimes it feels like once people know you have diabetes, they expect you to become like a full-time ambassador for perfect health choices. Like all of a sudden, you're not allowed to have cravings or have bad days or eat emotionally or want fast food or skip a workout or just be a regular human being. Everything becomes evidence. If your blood sugar is high, it's, well, what did you eat? If you take medication, it's, well, shouldn't lifestyle changes be enough? If you lose weight, wow, you look so good now. If you don't lose weight, are you even trying? It's exhausting. And honestly, I think a lot of people with diabetes become very good at pretending everything is fine because they're tired of defending themselves. We joke, we minimize, we say things like, haha, yeah, my blood sugar's a little crazy today. Meanwhile, internally, we're frustrated, overwhelmed, discouraged, or exhausted, because diabetes isn't just physical, it's emotional too. And I think that emotional part gets ignored a lot. People see blood sugars, they see medications, they see food choices, but they don't see the constant decision making. They don't see the mental load of remembering prescriptions, appointments, sensors, insurance issues, refills, meal planning, symptoms, side effects, all the tiny little choices that never fully shut off in your brain. There are days where diabetes feels like a full-time, unpaid internship, okay, that we definitely didn't ask for. And then on top of that, Brad from Facebook wants to tell you to drink okra water. Like, serious? No, thank you. Speaking of the internet, let's talk about it, because OMG, the internet is simultaneously the most supportive and most unhinged unhinged place to have diabetes, okay? You can find incredible support communities full of people who truly get it. Sugar Mama Strong Diabetes Support for Women, my group, over 5,000 women who are literally my cheerleaders in the computer. So supportive. But then 2 posts later, you see someone who is so confidently explaining that diabetes can be cured by apple cider vinegar, or walking barefoot in the grass, picking flowers, or positive thinking, or a $97 supplement that they saw on an infomercial one night, or just cutting out sugar. Like, I need everyone to just calm down. Like, take a seat. I didn't ask you. That's how I feel. I think what frustrates me the most is how oversimplified people make this disease sound. Like, diabetes is just a result of bad choices and not a complicated mix of genetics, hormones, insulin resistance, stress, environment, access, mental health, sleep, medications, and 1,000 other things. People love to act like they've cracked the code. Meanwhile, the people actually living with diabetes know this condition can change from day to day for literally no reason. Years ago, I was on only oral medications. I don't think I had started a GLP-1 yet. I think I've explained to you that I've been on every GLP-1 since they started coming out, but I think this was before that. My blood sugar numbers were in range. I was pretty well controlled. And then one day I woke up and my fasting blood sugar was over 200. And I was like, okay, maybe it's a fluke. And then the next day, the same thing. And then the next day, the same thing. Nothing else was different, you guys. My numbers just shot through the roof. No rhyme or reason, okay? You can literally do the same thing every single day. Eat the same exact things at the same times, taking your medication at the same time, and your blood sugars be completely different. You can do everything right and still wake up high. Stress, sleep, hormones, illness, exercise, existing, the weather. Is it storming outside? My knee hurts. Is it storming outside? My blood sugar's high. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's how it feels sometimes. Sometimes your pancreas just wakes up and says, no, sorry, not today. Okay? And honestly, one of the most damaging things about all the opinions is the shame that it creates, because when somebody has commentary, you start feeling watched all the time. You start second guessing every food choice, especially in public. You feel guilty eating dessert, even if it fits your plan. You explain yourself before anyone even asks you. Oh, I normally don't eat like this. I already counted for it. My blood sugar's been good. I've been exercising. And sometimes we're not even responding to actual judgment. We're responding to anticipated judgment. That's how deep it gets for a lot of us. You become like hyper aware of how you're being perceived. Exhausting. I used to explain myself constantly, like all the time. I wanted people to really understand. I wanted them to know that I was trying, that I wasn't lazy or irresponsible or aloof when it came to my diabetes management. So I would over-explain everything. Why I was taking medication, what my A1C was, what I'd eaten that day, how much weight I lost, what my doctor said. And half the time, I wasn't even trying to educate people. I was trying to earn compassion. Like, what? That was a really hard realization. Like, why do I need that from random people? Because I realized I was acting like I needed permission to exist as a person with diabetes unless I could prove that I was managing it correctly, whatever that means. Now, my mindset is very different. Not everybody deserves access to me. Not everybody deserves explanations. Not everybody deserves a seat at the table when it comes to my health decisions. That's a really small circle in my world now. Learning that has been so freeing for me. I think a lot of us spend years trying to look like the right kind of diabetic. the responsible one, the inspirational one, the successful one, the one who has it all together. And if we're struggling, then we hide it. We tend to disappear, isolate, stop posting. We avoid appointments, conversations, and we convince ourselves we need to come back only when we fixed it. And that shame spiral is brutal because diabetes already asks so much from people emotionally. The last thing anybody needs is to feel like their worth is tied to how impressive their blood sugar looks to other people. I also want to say something about the pressure to be the perfect diabetic, because people love diabetes success stories as long as they look inspirational and uncomplicated. They love before and after photos. They love dramatic transformations, and they love hearing somebody reversed it naturally. But the reality for most people, including me, is a lot messier. Sometimes your numbers improve and your mental health tanks. Sometimes you lose weight and you still struggle emotionally. Sometimes medications help tremendously. Sometimes they stop working. Sometimes you burn out. Sometimes you get tired of thinking about carbs every 5 seconds. None of that means you're messing it all up. But when everybody around you has opinions, it can start to feel like you are failing if you're not doing diabetes in the most perfect, inspiring, socially acceptable way possible. And that mindset is dangerous because shame does not improve health. It usually makes people hide from appointments, support, honesty, hiding from themselves. I know because I've lived that version too. And real talk, some of the healthiest changes I've ever made happened after I stopped trying to earn approval from everybody else. After I stopped trying to look perfect, after I stopped trying to prove that I deserved compassion, after I stopped viewing every blood sugar like a report card. Managing diabetes is not about becoming a perfect human robot who never eats a French fry again. No, thank you. It's about building a sustainable life, a real life, okay? One where you can take care of yourself without hating yourself in the process. So let me say this clearly if you need permission today. You do not have to defend your treatment plan to people who are not part of your medical team. You do not need to explain your medication choices, justify your food, debate with people online, or prove that you're trying hard enough to deserve respect. Protecting your peace is part of taking care of yourself too. Some conversations are not educational opportunities. Some people are committed to misunderstanding diabetes because it helps them feel superior. And you are allowed to disengage. Thank goodness for being grown. We can do what we want. You are allowed to say, I'm happy with my treatment plan. My doctor and I have it handled. I'm not looking for advice. Or really, you could just be like, okay, so anyway, and change the subject. Because not every comment deserves your emotional energy. And your body is not public property just because you have diabetes. Living with diabetes is already mentally exhausting sometimes. Can we agree on that? You are constantly making decisions, monitoring things, adjusting things, thinking ahead, managing appointments, prescriptions, numbers, symptoms, food, movement, stress, and life on top of all of that. Okay? The last thing you need is a running commentary from people who have no idea what this actually feels like. And if you've been carrying around frustration, embarrassment, anger, or exhaustion around this stuff, you are not being dramatic or too sensitive. You're just tired of feeling like somebody's group project. And honestly, I get it. All right, that's it for today's episode of Sick of Pricks. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps more than you know. And hey, if you're ready to connect with people who actually get it, come join my Facebook community, Sugar Mama Strong. It's a safe space for support, accountability, and real conversations about health, goals, and life. And if this episode resonated with you, my book, This Wasn't in the Pamphlet, is officially out. You can grab a copy on Amazon, or if you want a signed copy from me, you can find those on my website. Everything's linked in the show notes. You can also follow along on Facebook or Instagram for more daily motivation and updates. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.